And then the point of this webinar was really to talk about where we hit the specific P&L. And so we talked about a lot of projects, but if we think about from a revenue standpoint, maintenance revenue, we provide consistent follow-up from a pricing standpoint for several of our clients and a renewal standpoint. So you don't miss that, hey, maybe your price was 4% or CPI and CPI was 4.7%. And you just did the 4% because the contract wasn't properly structured. We make sure that that happens properly. We also provide oversight for a lot of clients on when their contracts have to be notified in terms of renewal dates, when specific surcharges are applicable to just maintain that overall maintenance revenue. From an enhancement standpoint, between the design work and the follow-up work, we generally help companies increase their enhancement sales by 20% or more. And that's just by making sure that the enhancement proposal that you sent to an individual 4 weeks ago doesn't get dropped on the floor, that we're following up, that if you're using documented site audits or site reviews, that those are being delivered with proposals and photos to drive incremental sales. Or if you're doing irrigation repair work, that the proper controllers or pipe or other things are priced in, costed up, and the hours are all captured to properly bill clients from a repair standpoint. From a snow standpoint, we do a lot of invoice flipping, meaning a subcontractor completes the service, they bill, we pay them, handle the AP, and then flip it around as an invoice to a client, and then follow the collections routines to kind of set in the middle in that snow removal subcontractor area, not the seasonal fees. And then from a construction standpoint, again, all on the revenue side, we make sure change orders are actually following the rules through a series of audits that we perform for a client, and that we're capturing all the margins that if a plant installed costs $500 on the initial stage, it shouldn't cost $500 on a change order, I mean, unless you have a contract that requires it. But that change order should be significantly higher, and making sure that happens when people get busy has really helped drive revenue up 10% or more for several of our clients. From a direct expense standpoint, other than sourcing, I mean, we're not selling soil, sod, chemicals, et cetera. So not a huge impact there, but where we really have a big impact is on indirect labor and overhead labor. So all the use case I mentioned, generally from an indirect labor standpoint for contact centers, we are saving at least a person, if not more, depending on the scope of the particular client. And that's about $25,000 per person per year. And then in terms of overhead, same thing would apply. We generally are $25,000 less per person per year. And based on our credentials and the quality of the graduates that we bring onto Process Smart, we believe we are at or better than the credentials of someone you could source locally in your market.